Okay guys, welcome to another episode 2 of the Facebook fishing show. I had a lot of questions come in and a lot of inboxes from guys that really enjoyed the show. One thing I think come across well was I gave an honest opinion. You've got to be honest at the end of the day, guys, especially when you're doing bits and pieces like this. So one thing I would like to say that anything what gets put across in this show is my own thoughts, my own opinions on the tackle I'm using, the equipment I'm using, and the general rods and reels and stuff like that. At the end of the day, everyone will have a different approach to fishing, and what works for one man may not work for the other. But we've got a few questions come in. So what I'm going to start off with is how to target gilt-edged bream. Now, a lot of guys will do this very differently, okay? I'm going to show you a basic rig that I use to target gilt-edged bream. And to be honest, it's not something I do a great deal of. But at the same time, when I go and target gilt-edged bream, I like to use this rig. Now, for anybody who wants a lot of information on targeting gilt-edged bream, you want to go onto the YouTube channel and check out the Top Rods episode we've done with the British record holder and the legendary Mr. Rob Wheaton. Rob's a fanatic or gilt-edged bream angler, and some of the fish he produces is literally unreal. It's but catching one fish, a lot of guys would say lucky, but when you're going and specifically catching gilt-edged the size that he's catching over and over again, it's skill, it's dedication, it's knowing what you're doing, and at the end of the day, it's exactly the same as I put in the last episode. It's learning, and especially over the years and stuff. Obviously, Rob's put a lot of time and effort into targeting gilt-edged bream, and he's reaping the rewards now. I know he's just had a very big one again this year, and no doubt, if anybody's going to beat the British record again, it'll be Mr. Wheaton. But I don't know I can't really remember what Rob said he used now, what rig he said he used in the thing, but to be honest, that's the approach I would go down. The rig that I use is what I use. For information on targeting the gilt-edged bream, honestly guys, go onto the YouTube channel, check out the Top Rods episode, because the in-depth information on it's not just the rigs and everything else what goes with it, it's the conditions, he's give away loads of information to guys to go out and help them target gilt-edges. So that's the approach I would have. But I'm going to show you the rig that I'm going to use for targeting gilt-edged bream. Okay. So the rig I'm going to use is called a bolt rig. So to basically make this rig is fairly simple. Okay, what you can use is, I've got a load of different tackle boxes here, so I come prepared at the end of the day. So I've got my box here. So all I need to make this is a swivel link clip from Gemini. Okay, so I've got one of them. Some beads. So I've got one bead there, another bead there. Okay. And then all I'm going to use then is another swivel, and that is completely job done, okay? So that's what I'm going to use. I'm going to use a bigger hook just to show you what I'm doing, okay? That's a chinny hook. I'd use a lot smaller hook than that. Maybe a size 1, a 1.0, depending where I was really. But yeah, perfect. Okay, so what I've got here, I've actually got Icon Power Monster, and I've got this in a 60 pound, which is more than enough, depending where I'm fishing really. But the first thing I'll put on is a swivel, okay? So I'll put the swivel on like so. Okay, bring it through. Sliver, job done. So I've got my scissors here now. So all I've done is tied that to the end. So I've got one swivel attached to the line. Now, what I normally do is give it about 2 foot maybe, okay? And then what I'll do is cut that onto that. And then what I'm going to do now is put a bead. So I'm putting a bead down onto that. Then I'm going to put this swivel link clip from Gemini down onto the thing. Then I'm going to put another bead, okay? Simple as that. Then I'm going to tie my swivel onto the end. Now, the reason I like to use this rig is with gilt heads, they hit the bait hard, and if you're using a running ledger, something where they pick the line up quick, by the time they go into it. Now, I know guys have the drag set totally. I don't have my drag set totally because of the rig I'm using. As they pick the bait up and they take the bait back, it enables the bait to be back the fish's throat, and the weight of the hook going up against the mud, especially if you're using a grip lead, will self-hook the fish. And to be honest, I haven't had a great deal of gilt heads, but every single one I've had them on this rig, and it's worked every time. I don't have my drag very loose. I have it tight enough so the rod's arced over, and it's a perfect rig to use, to be fair. I use it for bass sometimes as well. So basically it's a boat rig like that. Okay, so we get that there. You can see a little small version of that. Simple as that. And then basically what I do then, I don't use what I'm using now, okay? I went down there the other year, down to Cornwall to target gilt heads, and I had 3 guys with me, okay? Nick Panther, Stuart Norris and Andy Pierce. And we went down targeting them, and I used wire trace, okay? And I remember Nick saying to me, "Well, you're using a wire trace on, you won't catch with that." And I had more gilts than everybody that day. I was the only person to have the gilt. That was just down to the casting, I think, just because where I was positioned, I was a lot further out towards where we were casting to catch the fish. There was a video on it. But then we went to another place, and then I'd had just as many bass as everyone using the wire trace. Now, I like to use the 25 or the 30, really. It's light from the Cox and Rule range. It's light, but it gives me that strength. So if I know I'm hooking into a gill, I can bully it a little bit if I've got to, and it's not going to cut me off. So that's what I use basically. But for the video here, I'll show you, I've just using a bait basically around a 2 foot length again. And then what I'll do is attach my chinny. This is a big chinny, I've just done it for the video purposes. On the Cox and Rule. Quality at the end of the day, guys, as I went through last time, it's everything's down to quality. And you catch that fish of a lifetime, you want to know what you're going to land it. Okay, so it's as simple as that, really. So what you've got here now is the boat rig, okay? So what will happen is, I'll cast that out, and my line will be laid like that in a tide, especially if it's fast flowing tide, so it'll be laid out like that. My bait will be well away from it. But what will happen is, as the fish goes to take the bait, so it'll lift off, it won't feel tension straight away. It'll pick the bait up, take the bait back. Then as it goes to shoot off then, like that, as I'm pulling the bait back, you can pull all that through the lead, and then that, okay? So the lead will pick up off the deck like that. See that? It just gives it something to hook straight away. I prefer to use the boat rig than the running ledger. I know guys like to use a lot of different rigs, but that is the way when I go targeting gilt heads, that's the way I do it. I've had results with it. It's not something I do a great deal of. As I said, guys, for information and rigs and stuff like that, if you got someone who took the time out, especially like you did, Rob and Mike, you've been targeting for years, spent the time out to take a day out to do a video to educate guys wanting to target gilt heads, and when you've got that information in front of you, you're silly not to take it on board. I mean, I think it was like just over a half-hour episode, 40-minute episode, and the information within it is going to save you hours and hours of work. Especially like the clarity of the water, and bits and pieces like that. You know full well if you're going down and it's murky and that, not to even bother. You can always have a go. You've got a chance, but when you've got guys knowing what they're doing, they're giving you that advice, you're silly to not take it on board, really. But that was a question I was asked. So that is basically the boat rig, which I like to use for gilt head bream. You can use it for bass and different things, but that's the rig I like to use. Okay, so we're going on to the next question now. The next question I had was fly fishing. Have you or the team ever tried it? I've had trouble enough with a beach caster. No, I'm only joking. I've never tried fly fishing. I know Wayne Jarman, a good friend of mine, he's tried to get me to do it lots of times, okay? And it's not something what really interests me. To be honest, I've done a little bit carp fishing over the years, and it's down to a friend of mine when I tried it in the beginning. It's fun at first, and then you start going up to like bigger ponds and stuff like that, going for specimens, and it's just so boring. Yeah, and to be honest, I've done it every year. I took a little bit of time out from sea fishing just to try and educate my youngest lad, because when I used to take him to the sea, he'd be playing with the sand, he'd be doing everything else, he wasn't interested in watching his rod. And I took him carp fishing, show him what to do and that, and I'll never forget one morning I was just setting up at a local pond in Exeter, and I got him, give him some sweet corn, give him his rod, off he went, chucked it in the water, and off he went, and I'm going back, I'm setting my rod up, and all I hear is, who's that? So I'm looking around, and next minute I know it's my little lad Cody, rod bent over, carp on, £12 carp, over the moon. And since I took him carp fishing, he's found a love for the sport, really, because where he would cast a rod out and not pay no attention to it, he goes fishing now and he'll sit and watch the rod because he knows what's to come. And there's a lot more waiting involved in sea fishing and stuff like that. But over time, obviously, especially, he's lucky really. Obviously, he's got myself, who knows a little bit about fishing. He's got a lot of the guys within the Sea Angle Adventures team, which if there's something I don't know about in that, I'm sure all of them would help him out. So he's got guys around him which a lot of us haven't got the joy of having. So I'd like to see him get more into it, but it's the same again. It's like modern day technology. When you're younger and that, you want to be out playing. Me and my workmate was talking about Craig the other day, and we were saying, like, when we were younger, we'd be out on a BMX, and we'd be like, you wouldn't even see your mum and dad all day because you'd be out on adventures and climbing up trees and falling down trees and hurting yourself and kicking balls around and playing Kirby and block and whatever else. You know what I mean? And in this day and age now, you've got a mobile phone, and it just destroys the kids, to be fair, I believe, because they just want to sit there on their phones and just watch. Like, social media is one. They sit down. My two, even my youngest girl, she'll sit there and will watch YouTube, and there'll be YouTube videos of like, young kids doing such and such and such and such. You know what I mean? They'll be singing and dancing, and they sit there watching it over and over again. And I know my friends' children like it as well, and it's just day and age, and it's sad really, because you try, like, you take him out fishing and you have his phone with him, and you like take that phone away. I remember we went to Chesil not so long ago, myself, Rob, Dan Bassett, and who else come along with us? Adam Slack. And Cody come along, and he enjoyed it for the day. We had a little fire at the end, got some wooden bits and pieces, and sat down and had a cup of coffee, like early evening and that. It was good. I really enjoyed it. And you take him sometime, when he has loads of stuff and he's got occupied and he's got guys to talk to and stuff like that, he really enjoys it. You take him to some places and you're like sitting there waiting for your rods, and he gets to get bored. He'll go and build sandcastles or whatever else, but it's part and parcel. You can't force him into it, but it's something hopefully they'll grow into. But yeah, fly fishing, not for me. I tell you, if you want to know anything about fly fishing, there is a guy within the team what's done it, and I think he's tried it at sea, is Richard Albones. Okay, I'm pretty sure he's been down the team bassing with a fly. I don't know how he got on, but you'd have to ask Rich on that. I'm pretty sure he used to do fly fishing. Okay, if not, Wayne Jarman will help you out. So there's two. Can't really obviously comment on that one, mate. Apologies. Best estuary rod. So to me, there's only one. There is only one. A lot of people are going to argue, a lot of people are going to disagree. I've got to give my opinion, guys. I use this rod for everything, okay? The estuary rods for what any fishing aware have done, they're fantastic rods, and Dan Bassett got them and stuff like that. I like to have it something what cast a little bit more, really. The forum bait would do it, but this rod here I've got here, it's a Mark 1 Conoflex Flatty Fanatic, okay? And I'll tell you what, I've had some fish on this. If I can get it around the sound equipment. There we go. Okay, so there it is, guys. Conoflex Flatty Fanatic Mark 1, 11 foot. It is just I've never used an estuary rod like it. Okay, I use it bass fishing. I take it mackerel in. I take it all over the place. I've had wrasse on it. It's optimum casting weight 2 to 4 ounce, 11 foot in length. I know guys what's got the 12-foot versions and stuff like that. The 12-foot versions are very tippy. This isn't. This is lots of power. The Mark 1, the Mark 2's a slightly different carbon, and it's not as powerful, where this will land you anything. I've had 12-pound bass on this. I've had loads of flounders, gilt heads, anything I'm going to do in that sort of fishing. This is a rod I'll use, and yeah, it's an amazing rod. Very sought after. I've been offered lots of pennies for the pair I've got before, which I wouldn't get rid of. I nearly bought a pair of the 12-foots the other year, which I decided not to in the end, because I got the 11-foots and don't really need the 12-foots. If I need anything where I need to cast like to the horizon, I'd take a beach caster. Some places you go in the estuaries and these wouldn't be sufficient, and not even the 12-foot version of these would be sufficient, because you wouldn't be able to cast them. You need 5 or 6 ounce lead to hit a channel which is 800 yards out, and you want something what's going to be able to do it every time and not have to wade out and stuff. Then I would take a beach caster, like beach caster T900, something like that. Perfect. But yeah, this to me, if you can get hold of them, they still turn up. Not the Union Jacks versions, what I've got here, they're very hard to get hold of, but the 2000 models and stuff, I know Will and Zori had a pair of them. Yeah, they're still a fantastic rod. They're a lot different to these, but it's the power in them what I like. If you've got a flounder on, you can bring it in and you can still enjoy the fight. But if you get a big fish on them, the power's there. I remember when I had that big bass before Christmas, went over like a ray at the beginning, just sat there and was giving it a couple of jaunts, and when I hit it, it just went mental, and this handled it no problem at all. So yeah, that is basically the best estuary rod I would say has ever been produced. It's a fantastic rod. As I said, guys, a lot of people will argue. A lot of people will disagree with that and say I prefer such and such. The only thing I can do is give my opinion on what I'm obviously talking about, because it's a question I've been asked, and I can say I've used every rods. The Mark 1 Any Fish Anywhere estuary rod's a fantastic rod. The Mark 2, the new version, they're also a fantastic rod. The foreign baits, really good again. If you can't get hold of one of them, I would go for a foreign bait. That's what I would go for. I don't want something too light. It's an odd one, really, isn't it? If you want it, you don't want to have to go out and buy 6 or 7 rods all the time, do you? You know what I mean? You think, oh, I want to go flounder, I need that, I want to go. I use that for everything. I use that for flattying and everything. If I'm going places where I'm using very small leads, and using maddies or like a light bait, and I want it lots of movement and stuff, I'll take carp rods. That's what I'll take. I'll take carp rods and load the reel with braid. If I'm going anything where I'm using mono and that, like most of the time with these, as we're going to go onto a question in a minute, I'm using 20-pound line. I don't like to muck around and like use lighter lines and stuff. You can hit into anything in an estuary, as I've proved many times, and you want to know what you've got on. You get weeds, you get bits and pieces coming through, anything can like cut you off. You want to know you're going to handle that fish, and to me, that's what it's about at the end of the day. But anyway, that brings me on to the next question, because it's the same guy give 2 questions, so I'm going to answer the other one. Best estuary reel. Okay, there's loads available, guys. I could go through loads of different fixable reels, the Penn versions, the Shimano versions, loads of different ones. I've had a lot of the Shimano reels over the time, but this reel I'm going to show you now, to me, is one of the best reels I've used. Okay, this is the Saltwater 4500 Nomura reel, and it's the FD SW, so Saltwater, and it's an amazing bit of kit. Okay, I've used this for everything. I've used this for mackerel-ing. I've used it for everything, really. Used it for a bit of fishing up Chesil, and I'm fishing close in for bass when I've took flat fanatics before, and this is a reel I had the big bass on before Christmas. £20, bulletproof Asso mainline. No mucking around. It comes with an extra spool, so if you wanted to put a braid spool on or whatever you wanted to do, you can do. But it is a phenomenal reel. It really is. I mean, it looks good. The handle is lovely and comfortable, smooth as you like. And at the end of the day, especially with the estuaries, some of the places you go in and stuff, you've got mud, and you know what I mean, and you want a reel that's going to handle the conditions. It's not like going to a beach and everything you can keep clean. A lot of the time the estuaries they're getting muddy, and this one's been put through some rubbish, I can tell you that before, but it's still running as smooth as it is, and it's absolutely fantastic reel. They are available on the Euro Angling website, so check out the mirrors. They do them in different sizes and stuff. That is the SW 4500 FD. So yeah, it's perfect for the job, guys. That is one of the reels I would go for. As I said, you've got Shimano, you've got loads of different reels available on the market. But as I said, this is what I use, and I get on with it and love it. So this is what I would recommend. So that's gone on to the reels now. So we've covered the fly fishing, we've covered the estuary rods, we've covered the estuary reels. We got that one there to come later on. So what have we got now? So we go into something a bit different. At the beginning of the year, Andy, you had a big discussion on fish weights. What's the update on that? To be fair, okay, it caused a bit of chaos when it come on, but I'm a great believer in you think something and you just say it at the end of the day. There's no point holding things back and like letting things bottle up inside anybody at the end of the day. I got a bit. If anybody else would have said about that, they would have. People would have listened a little bit more. But the trouble was, because I said it, it made it look like it was being said in a way which was okay for me at the time, and it's not. I was one of the first people to say about the weights originally. A lot of people, I don't think, thought I was going to turn up at the awards night. Some of the faces when I did, but at the end of the day, it's what it is. Changes are good, I believe, and especially with specimen fishing. And a lot. I've been in a couple of clubs, and you see the weights compared to some to others and stuff like that. Now I'm with Timothy Angling Society at the minute. Fantastic club, brilliant club. Rob Bender's the one I was in before. A lot different. Obviously Rob Bender's has got some real fantastic anglers in it, which you've got to be on top of your game all the time. Timothy's got some fantastic anglers again. It's a bit different competitiveness where Timothy have got guys which are out doing specimen hunting. They've got boat anglers. They've got guys which do a lot of mixed round fishing, where a lot of the rod benders is it's all to do with specimen fishing. The weights are slightly different and stuff like that, which at the end of the day it doesn't make no difference. But when it's not necessarily local clubs, because most of the local clubs, they're all competing with one weight at the end of the day. So they've got the local region, which is a wyvern. So for those who don't understand it, I'll try and educate you a little bit with both. Each fish has a specimen weight. So, for example, spotted ray, I'm not sure what it is. It's normally around £4 in some clubs. But obviously, rod benders was £5, which I feel, at the end of the day, if you're going to catch a fish, it's better to have the percentages high than low, because you're making more of achievement for it. And if you've done that with a lot of different species, it would work out. But the trouble you have, and a lot of people I was speaking to just said, does it really make any difference? It doesn't make any difference, not if you're not fishing at that level. But if you're fishing and competing against specimen, you're going for specimens, right? You're not competing against a large amount of the UK when you're competing at that level. I mean, you've got 100% fish, but I'm not talking about myself here, but you look back and over the years and you see some of the local guys to me, Rob York, Rob Wheaton, Mark Bryce. I'll just go into 3, okay? You've got loads more than that, but I'll go into 3. You look at those guys and you see the fish they catch year in, year out and stuff like that. I've only been doing club fishing a little while now, but you look at the fish at that level. Like, some guys have never even seen 150% fish, let alone a 200% fish. And to be able to target 200% fish and catch those type of fish year in, year out, you have really got to know what you're doing. As I said the other day within the match team, not taking nothing away from match anglers and whatsoever, but as I said, if I upset anybody, I do apologise, because I don't mean to. But this is my opinion. This is obviously my opinion. This is what my views are. You everybody's watching this can have different opinions, but you tell someone to go out and catch lots of fish, or there's always going to be someone better at doing that than the other. Okay, but depending where you are and what you're doing that day, if you know anything a little bit about fishing, you're going to be able to produce fish and catch fish. Okay, if you try and tell someone to go out and catch a specimen fish of a certain species and a certain size, people will struggle. They will, guys, because it's hard work. You've got to know where to go, you've got to know when to go, and you've got to put hours in. And it's not a case of going down there and doing 10 trips. You've got to put serious hours in. Now, I'll answer this question because this will tie into a little bit, but I've got a question here to put which will tie in a little bit with this, so I'll bring it up at the same time. Want to catch a big blonde ray, how do I do it? Now, the guy in question, I think he was Anthony something or other, he lives in Wales. I haven't put his second name down. He's on the page anyway. But Anthony, at the end of the day, South Wales. To be honest, there's loads of lads over there. Gethin Durham. You've got Kane Hayden now. You've got Matt Herring, who's all on the Angler Ventures. I'm sure if you pick any of those lads here, they'll help you out. Gareth Griffiths. I'm sure if you drop Gareth a message, he would help you out. Obviously, they're all friendly lads, and they like to help people and they can. At the end of the day, a lot of the marks over there, none of them secret. And that it's if you want it, you on the mark, you know when it's fishing. A lot like the lads do. They go over there and they catch fish. And it's still a little time game over there, but to catch big blonde rays, that I'm trying to think of what his name is. There was a big one caught there this year off South Wales. Was it beginning of last year? I'm sure it was this year. I'm trying to think of his name now. He's got his brother as well. Anyway, I can't remember his name, but he had one about, I think it was like 20 or 24 pounds something, and that is phenomenal fish to have off the Bristol Channel. It really is. To have, they do show up 20s, and they've had 20s and stuff like that, but to show like that sort of size, there is not many fish. And to be honest, I think there's only ever one person I know of who's had fish to that side off the Bristol Channel, and that's Wayne McEwen. I'm sure he's had fish on the upper like that sort of size before, years back. But you look at like this size, you see like we had that 20 on from Will and Zari, what he had off the reefs. The 20s do approach, but to target 25 pound plus fish, it's a totally different ball game. It really is. And as I said, part of the question going into the weights and stuff like that, these guys were doing it, and I've done it. And I'll tell you what, it takes everything away from you. If you want a fish that size, you've got to basically commit to it. And I mean commit to it. I mean, I nearly lost my relationship with it. I won't be lying to you guys and girls. Honestly, I just had, you get into a zone. And especially with that type of fishing, you're blanking and blanking and blanking and blanking and blanking. And especially some of the stuff I do involved with how to get to marks and stuff like that. And you come in on the way home from venues sometimes, and you're thinking to yourself, is this worth it? And it's not just the time and effort, what you're putting into it, it's funding. You like most of the time for me to go ray fishing, it cost me 20 quid, okay? It cost me 20 quid. 20 quid in fuel straight away. After I put 20 quid in for fuel, you've got, if you go in straight after work, you've got sandwiches, you've got baits, you've got rigs, you've got line, you've got everything else will come into it. And when you go in fishing and doing that 7 nights a week at times, believe me, when I say 7 nights a week, there has been times I've gone fishing 7 nights a week. And I remember remember a Friday night. My better half will register this to this at the time. She wanted to go to a local event, and it was a good tide Friday night, and the last thing I wanted to do was go to a local event. So if I'm not enjoying it at all. I'm thinking, I just gotta go. Do you know what I mean? I didn't drink at all. I didn't drink all night. I couldn't wait to get home. Rushed home afterwards, and basically got my stuff. She went to bed, and I went straight out. And I was straight in my car and gone. And I spent the whole day and the evening again targeting fish. And that went on for months. And I think it was 69 times. And in that period, I saw 3 rays. And it's dedication at the end of the day. You look at some of the guys what's had those fish and the dedication of what they've done. And to like Rob, for example, he's had 3 fish over £25. And it's breathtaking. It really is. To have 1 fish over that is a accomplishment. To have 3 fish like that, that's just awesome angling at the end of the day. He knows, like he said in the specimen on the video, you don't need to go down and do what I've done and do what a lot of guys done, because he's done the own work and done what I'd done years and years ago, and now he's sitting there and he knows when to go and where to go. And it's exactly the same. You learn from what I learned over doing that is absolutely phenomenal. I mean, you read things, you read the water, you read the conditions, you read the timing, you read everything else, and a lot of stuff I won't go into to do with that, but it's like timing. I'd see people coming and going and like that, and you're thinking, just don't know. You know what I mean? And things change, but if you're moving with those changes, you'll benefit from the rewards, because nothing stays the same forever. You know what I mean? Nothing stays the same. What happens one year might be different the other, and just because you're doing such and such and such doesn't mean that that's going to happen. You know what I mean? So it's one of them at the end of the day. But going back to the weights, I don't think it's not a lot what I can do about it. It takes. We asked people to send in an email, myself and Rich, and we've put some of the stuff together of the email and the information what we have come on, but it's nowhere near enough, guys. I mean, it's not enough. We had not a large amount sent back in, and from what we got put together, is you can't even and send that and approach the likes of the Webb and the Angling Trust with what got in, because I think a lot of people are afraid to do what I've done and stand up and say, look, I don't believe it, I don't agree with that, because they've just been putting up with it for years and years and years. But it's not down to the organisations. That's the trouble. I think a lot of people thought I was having a go at the likes of the Wyvern or the Angling Trust at the time, and I really wasn't, because it's not these guys' fault. All they do is put in information what gets passed on by clubs, and it's hard, isn't it? It's what you do. You want to get people out, and what I was trying to do was right, because I was trying to get people talking and getting involved in it. But you can't make people do it. And I know by speaking to a lot, like each year they have a bit where they can all the local clubs can send in stuff and that. And I think they had 1 club send in something, and that's ridiculous. I mean, with all the clubs they have in the southwest, to have 1 club send in information about species, it's stupid. But it is what it is at the end of the day. You just got to live by it. It's been like it for so long. We've done a little thing for like competitions and that within Sea Angling Adventures, and we like between the lads to get the lads a little bit of interest going and stuff like that. And some of the weights, I've spoke to the lads and they all agreed, because what I feel is if you're doing that type of fishing and specimen fishing, 100% fish do not win stuff. 140% fish don't win stuff. 150% fish don't win stuff. It's the 200% or 190, 200, 210, 200, 300, 400, 500. It's that type of stance of fish which win stuff. So does it make any difference? You look at smooth hounds. Like, well, I think we put it down to £9 because it was £10 for the competitions. £10 smooth hound. We got done it before. You need a £20 smooth hound to get 200% fish. And it's possible, but you need an £8 pollock to match that. It don't add up, because you can get £12 pollock. So you know what I mean. So you're getting a 300% fish. you're not going to get a £30 smooth hound from the shore. And it's hard, but at the end of the day, everybody fishes with it. So I've done what I've done. I spoke to a lot of our guys first, and to be honest, since I've been doing the club scene and stuff like that, it's only been 3 years now. I've done quite well with it, to be fair, within those 3 years. Put a lot of time and effort and dedication into it, and done well within the southwest and within the clubs I've been in. So it's down to dedication and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, it's like I had guys say to me at the time, who spoke to me individually and sat down and had a pint with them and stuff. They were saying we had to do it for 8 years, Andy. At the end of the day, it's the same for everybody. But it's frustrating when you're competing at a level locally and then nationally. The southwest guys they haven't got a chance compared to some of the weights from other areas and stuff. And you know what I mean, it's just ridiculous. Like areas what are getting premium of £4, and then the weights like 1.5. It's like what? It's not done correctly, and it's done unfairly. But at the end of the day, what can you do about it? You just do what you do. So it's fishing. If people want to do that, they want to do that. But that was the reasons why we've put information together. We had emails coming through and that, and it wasn't enough to do anything with. So it's one of them. At the end of the day, guys, it's something which I don't think it's never going to change. At the end of the day, you can only do what you can do. We had a discussion with the club I'm in now with all the guys and stuff like that, and I think some of the weights and stuff were agreed, and I think the guys were going to send a letter off to the Wyvern and obviously suggest certain fish changes and stuff, but at the end of the day, it takes everybody. It's just one of them, innit? But what will be will be. But that's the answer to that question. Yeah, good question. What have we got here? Cool. We got some other interesting ones here now, haven't we? Everybody wants to be an angling superstar. What's your view on that? Angling superstar. Don't think it's. I don't know. At the end of the day, we get a lot of guys obviously messaging in and the stuff that we do with angling and stuff like that, and it's down to hard work at the end of the day. And the way I've always looked at that sort of thing is, I look back from when I was fishing and the likes of the guys around at the time, which interested me. And made fishing interesting for me and appealing. And you look back and see some of the guys what were in the scene back then compared to what is available in the scene now, and it changes at the end of the day. There's a lot of guys what want to do sort of stuff what we're doing at Sea Angler Adventures, and a lot of stuff they do at Sea Angler magazine and stuff like that. And with modern day technology, everything's very easy to do. You know what I mean? You look magazines, for example, okay? You look when we're growing up, you've got two really good magazines for sea angling. I mean, and I used to buy both of them. Sea Angler, which I obviously do some work for now, and Total Sea Fishing. And growing up, I used to buy both magazines, and I couldn't wait to get each one. I used to have piles of Sea Angler and piles of Total Sea Fishing. And each magazine, to me, brought different things. Sea Angler always had really, really, really good writers and interesting stories and stuff like that, and exactly the same for Total Sea Fishing. Total Sea Fishing at the time for me, it adds the likes of the late Steve Gregory, Wayne McEwen, and guys which their fishing interested me with the large rays and big smoothhound and bass and congers and stuff like that. And that's what's really, for me, brought me into fishing, because that's what I wanted. Even from the start of fishing, it was about going out and targeting as big fish as I can. And I didn't even have a clue where to go. And you go in places and chucking baits in the water and stuff like that, because you hear about marks and stuff, Bristol Channel over and stuff like that. And then you start catching fish, and then you want bigger and bigger and bigger, and that was what it was for me. I'm not saying it's the same as everybody. A lot of guys go out fishing and they enjoy catching fish, but you got the likes of Kevleg, who used to, obviously we went through the other day with Wayne Thomas with the articles he used to do total sea fishing. Fantastic articles, it's a fantastic reading, loads of hints and tips and stuff like that. And then you've got obviously Sea Angler. And Sea Angler, you've got like Mel Rush, you got Paul Fennick, you've got you had Alan Yates, you had Shane Pullen, all different styles and like targeting species, really in-depth stuff about targeting place, targeting, you know what I mean? And Sea Angler was always in my eyes, was always the bigger magazine and the more professional magazine because of the way it was put together. But like you had like Total Sea Fishing at the time, you had Barney Wright, Roger Mortimer and all stuff like that, and all the stories and that, and the casting sort of side and that, which wasn't really covered in Sea Angler, but was covered more in Total Sea Fishing. So both magazines had stuff going on. And then there was another magazine brought out, which obviously didn't go anywhere. And that was it. But now you've got Total Sea Fishing obviously gone. Obviously, I believe I made the right move at the right time. I got offered the position of Total Sea Angler and jumped at the chance. Certainly not to, and it's shown because obviously Sea Angler now it's the only publication you can get, and I think everybody looks forward to grabbing it. I still love going to the shop, picking up a copy of Sea Angler, sitting down reading it and stuff like that, and seeing because. Social media is all on your phone, isn't it? And it's nothing better. I don't know if I'm old school about this. I don't know if maybe I could get some opinions from guys. Obviously, what's watching it now? Some of the younger generation. Do you enjoy getting the magazine and picking it up? Because I used to love grabbing the magazine, getting home, getting my fishing tackle. You know what I mean? And not really know what I'm doing. I used to sit there seeing a rig, and you'd be copying the rig, and and making your rigs up and stuff like that, and learning from the magazine. And that's what I think the younger generation of anglers need. That you need it because, and it's not just young. I enjoy picking it up now and reading about articles from guys going fishing and doing different stuff and stuff like that. I enjoy reading about angling at the same time, and not necessarily all about the specimens all the time. I enjoy about seeing people's trips and stuff like that, and you're learning stuff because. Like you're looking in the backgrounds of things and stuff like that, you're picking up. Oh, my fishing there, or you know what I mean. It's everybody does it at the end of the day, but it's with the social media. Over the time you've had loads. I've seen loads of guys come and go since I've been doing it. Obviously, when I first started doing the videos, there was no one else in the UK doing the fishing videos, and then all of a sudden they all switched in, and you see the changes from people into coming and going, and people. You know what I mean, and there's a lot of people. You know what I mean, you want to pick up a GoPro, you want to pick up a camera, and you go and film your trips, and that's ideal. You know what I mean. But what I will say, and it's come to it a little bit with the videos we're doing, because you want to be professional, and you want to be able to put across stuff, and obviously people are watching and learning stuff and looking up to the stuff we're doing. You know what I mean? And for me, if we're going to be the ones doing that, you've got to let your fishing do the talking. There's no point looking up there and doing all this stuff and thinking, like you see. I won't go into names and stuff. You got on the specimen hunter such and such on such a page, and you're looking at stuff like that, a couple hundred likes and whatever. You're not really doing what you're there to do. You know what I mean? If you're gonna do it, you've got to do it good, and that's I think the trouble we get with some of the stuff I've done within sea angling, and the trouble you get with people. It's a lot of jealousy because to get a viewing and get the numbers what we've got at Sea Angling Adventures, you've got to be doing something right. You have at the end of the day, and it really annoys people. And like I was talking about some of the article I mentioned in the last episode. You look at that for example. The guy wrote the article. He's tried doing it. He's tried getting his own YouTube channel going and doing bits and pieces. Just can't do it, you know what I mean? There's no viewing, no numbers, there's no audience there for him, because at the end of the day, people see through what you're doing. And at the end of the day, what I've always said, and I still do it now. I don't. Years ago, if someone was like saying things about what we're doing and trying to run it down and that, I'll be one of the first people there in there online. What's your problem then? Why? What you mean? Asking questions. Now I don't bother because you're giving them what they want, and this goes to everybody because I've seen like a lot of the stuff going on over social media, and like the other day it was a guy with a fish, and he had 2 fish on the beach and stuff like that, and he had people slating him, and I felt sorry for the guy because the post got took down in the end, because at the end of the day, people don't want it on their pages and stuff. And you've got to see the point of that and agree, because I'm the same with the Angler Adventures. If stuff's getting heated and that on the group, it gets taken away. I tell all the admins, anything like that, just remove it. I don't want swearing on there, ladies, children. People don't want to hear it, do they? So it gets taken straight down. But I felt sorry for the guy because he'd been out and he had this session of his lifetime and smashed in these fantastic fish and stuff, and down to jealousy and stuff like that. And you always get it, guys. But one thing I will say to everybody, especially the Greek juniors growing up, if you're doing well for yourself, right, you'll always have people trying to put you down. You always have people trying to put down. But what you need to do is not let it get you, because it used to really get to me. I'd be sitting there at home, like frustrated as hell, like blowing my head, so angry. But at the end of the day, what do you need? What's the point of getting angry about it? There's no need to get angry about it, because at the end of the day, the better you do, the worse it will get for them. And they're only doing what they're doing because they're trying to bring you down, all right? So what I do now is I use it as fuel. That's what I do. And I let my fishing do the talking. So at the end of the day, loads of people have probably seen bits and pieces with people saying stuff about me online and stuff like that. And then what I do is leave nice little hashtags, okay? Hashtag it. At the end of the day, let your fishing do the talking. And that's the response you want to do. It's all you need to do. If people are out there and they think they're doing better than you and they're doing stuff like this and stuff like that, it's angling. You know what I mean? If I see someone catch a fish, I'm over the moon for them. No matter what they are, it don't make no difference to me. It don't matter if it's £3, if it's thing. As long as they're happy that they've caught it, I'm happy for them. And the same with the fishing I do and the guys I go out with and stuff. If I don't catch, I don't feel frustrated because they have. As long as we've gone out as a group together and we've caught what we've gone to catch, I'm happy. It's done. And I know all the guys around me at the same time, they're happy, because that's what it is. I've been there. One day it'll be my turn. Next time it might be Adam's turn. Next time it might be Rob's turn. Next time it might be Dan Bassett's turn. Next time it might be Panther's turn. Next time it might be Gav's turn. But at the end of the day, it's fishing. And we all know what we're doing. It's not that we've done nothing wrong. It's just the fact that that fish has gone that way instead of that way. You know what I mean? That's all it is, guys. And I think sometimes people take it a bit too seriously. And people, I don't really know how to answer the question, really. Everybody seems to want to do it. It's like growing up when you're kids and you want to be a kung fu star, or you want to be a film star, and you go around with like red banners on your head and stuff like that. At the end of the day, if you're doing what you're doing and you're doing it well, you're doing something right. And if you're not doing something right, then it will show. And especially the way YouTube and social media and that works, it goes. You be able to tell with numbers. You look at numbers. Numbers don't lie. You know what I mean? No matter if you're on there saying I'm the best specimen under the world, I catch all these fish, I know what I'm doing, I'm such and such. If you all know what you're doing, and you're doing it all correctly, and you know what you're catching, you're not fobbing people off with rubbish and stuff, people will listen. If you're doing stuff and you're like jumping around and thinking on this, on that. One thing was everybody wants to be guiding this year. I don't know why it is. To be honest, I've done it a little bit and I enjoyed doing it, but it's just time consuming and I haven't got the time to do it. And I'd rather sit down and do videos where I'm doing hints and tips and stuff like that, rather than taking about people guiding. It's hard work because you've obviously taken people out. Nothing's ever guaranteed within fishing. You put people on fish on one day, other days you might have a bad one, it just wasn't for me. This year I've had loads of people asking me, come on, I want to go out with you and stuff like that. And I have not done none of it, okay? It's something which I've had loads of people asking me casting and stuff, but it's like casting. If people want to learn to cast, and there's like people going out doing casting lessons and that sort of stuff now, which, fair enough, if you want to do casting lessons, but if you're going to do casting lessons, you've got to do a casting lesson with an instructor or someone what knows how to cast, okay? Because what you'll find you're doing, if you've got, for example, someone that can cast 150 yards and they think they're casting one of the best casters in Britain or whatever, they're not. I'm not nowhere near a very good caster, okay? I can hit a lead, and I can hit a lead just under the 250 mark, which is my best. That's not guaranteed every time. My normal cast is around 230 yards. But you can have good days, you can have bad days and that. But my advice would be to go and speak to someone what knows how to cast. Like Adam Slack, for example, fantastic caster. Showed me how to cast to what I'm casting at now. And it's a fantastic cast, and I know Adam, he don't want to go out and do that with his time. He's worked hard enough as it is and stuff like that. But there are guys with the best thing anybody can do is go to tournament casting. Okay, it doesn't cost you a lot. It costs you a tenner maybe to join, and whatever it costs to do each time. You've got Westwood Casting, you've got Surf Castle Wales, and you've got Dorchester. Okay, there's 3 in this region here without going further up the line. There are more up there, guys. I apologise anybody what's watching saying, oh, you could have mentioned my local casting. Look around, because there's loads of them. I'm trying to think some of the other ones. See, it's the only ones I know of that I've been to. I've been to Dorchester and I've been to Westwood, and I know a lot of the guys from Surf Castle Wales come down that way. But Stenning, I think that's another one up that way. Look in your Norfolk. I know Darren Betts and that go up to that one up there. If you look on the internet or ask questions on the forum, go on Sea Angle Adventures and say, where would my next casting, tournament casting event be? And that people will put you on there. And I'll tell you what, honestly, you will be amazed. It's not all guys going down there, and it's not clicky where you think you're going down there. People will help you. You got to Dorchester, you got Sam Truan and that. They honestly, they would be quite happy to take you to the side, do want to cast or see where you're going wrong and give you some tips. And guarantee you, after one session, go into somewhere like that, or going Mike Benfield, go down to Westwood, go like Mike Benfield, over the South Wales lads, and there's loads of them over there, and I know they'll all do exactly the same. If you're doing something where they can help you, they'll give you a few hints and tips. And if you go back the following thing, so you say you were casting 90 yards, then you go back the first time, you might leave that casting over 100. I mean, you go back the following month, they might think, oh, you're doing that right now, but try doing this and like that, little bits along the way. Over a series of months, you will learn how to cast accordingly and by professionals, guys what know how to hit a lead and know how to bend a rod. And it's down to technique and practice, okay? So that would be, it's an odd one, because at the end of the day, I've answered it and I've gone into loads of different subjects at the same time, but it's just the way of modern day technology, isn't it? You've got YouTube, which is phenomenal. But at the end of the day, I wouldn't be where I am today without the likes of YouTube, social media and stuff like that as well. So it's my advice to everybody what's doing it is, if you're going to do something, pick what you're going to do, whether it's whatever you're going to cover, and do it right. Okay, that's what when I first started doing this, like Sea Angle Adventures and that, it was very important for me to be able to cover. What I wanted to cover was sea angling, okay. And for me to cover sea angling, I want to have the right guys doing the right thing. And I don't know everything about sea angling. I'm not an expert on sea angling. You know what I mean? I only know what I do and what my type of fishing is. Like Rich Algorns, for example, he's all he does is rough crown fishing. He's done it all his life and stuff. And some of the stuff I've picked up off him, little hints and tips like that, and he's like, just silly things like he don't use 2 hooks on his traces, and he went on his wire, and he always used wire, and for the simple fact for like snagging up and stuff, and bait presentations and bits and pieces which he's found out work, especially for bullers. Some of the stuff what he knows about bullers is phenomenal. And I've paid him with some of my type of fishing where I never had a ray before, so I took him like that over the moon. You know what I mean? He took me hustling and stuff. I learned everything, and that's what it's about. For me, I learn off all guys around me. Like some of the guys I've got around me at the minute is just phenomenal. You know what I mean? Some of the what's fish and some of the sort of stuff they know and stuff like that, compared to my stuff has always been ray fishing, and you're learning all the time. And I think all the guys who are in Sea Angle Adventures, even the guys who've been doing it years and years and years, they'll still learn off others and bits and pieces like that. Like Dan Bassett, some of the first stuff he does a lot of sharking and fin nipping and mulleting and stuff like that. A lot different rigs and techniques than I do, and he smashes them out. You know what I mean? And it's that's what it's about. It's that was what it was always about for me, having the right guys for the job, and yeah, that's what it is. I don't know how to answer that question anymore, because it's no matter what people think and what people do, I enjoy watching some people's stuff. I do. I fish. At the end of the day, it's fishing, isn't it? So if obviously a video pop up and I think it's worth a watch, I can tell if it's worth a watch within the first 10 seconds, because you'll get the gist of it. And a lot of it is guys. Photos and doing this and doing that, and at the end of the day, I've got like the way I see it is, a lot of guys do that sort of thing. You'll see a lot of pictures where they're like that with a fish and making the fish look massive, all right? And I can see it. It's what I do for a living, photography, and that through the articles I carry for Swivel. But I can tell straight away. And when you see the fish at a big ray, bang, you won't have. I've got a big ray of £13 small-eyed, or I've got a £5 spotted, or I've got a £16 blonde, or something like that. It's like, and you know that's not the, it's just a fish what's been put there, and it's just been made to look big. You can see through it. That's what I see. You can see, and as I said, lots of people will come and go within social media. But we must be doing something right, so that's all I can say on that. So yeah, that's that one there done. Guys, at the end of the day, what I've done is I've put the camera on and I've tried to answer all the questions and give you a show, and try and make it over an hour. So this is rolling off the tongue, so to speak. So I apologise if I bored anyone, just answering the questions as I've written down. Literally got home and wanted to film this ready for you, so it's up and you've got something to watch. Yeah, a lot of people have been asking for it. The first one of now was on yesterday, and I think it's had over 1,000 hits already. So at the end of the day, people enjoy watching it. So that's what it is. Okay, so we've got a couple more now. So yeah, there's some good ones here. So I've got this. Two of them is a same question but opposites. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to answer the favourite rod one first. Okay guys, so what we have here. Favourite rod ever. It's easy. It's not easy. Now, M427SU, Ziplex, M427SU. This, as I said, is my own opinion. This is not, and I'm definitely not. I haven't got the name of the guy who wrote this down. I should have put his name down really, but basically, I am not telling you to go out and buy an M427SU. Okay, I want to make that clear from the start. I do not promote that rod to anybody out there. If that rod's for you, that rod's for you. But I guarantee for 90% of anglers, that rod is not going to be a rod which you want to use. If you're not familiar with casting a rod and knowing how to bend the rod, that rod will break you. It really will. It's a beast. It's heavy. It's big, and it's very stiff, and it's built for fishing, smashing big fish out. That's all I can say. My previous favourite was the HST Dymic, which from Ziplex, which I got rid of to Paul Lynch, and I was gutted getting rid of them. And the only reason I got rid of them was the simple fact that I never used them. Never. I used to take them small-eyed raying if I was going small-eyed, and to be honest, I don't go all the places small-eyed that I used to, for the simple fact of I'm not after a £12 fish. If I'm going small-eyed in, I'm after £13-14 fish, and the places I used to go, to be fair, seeing a fish that size off them is very unlikely. So most of the time now, I'm not specifically after small-eyes all the time. And with the M427SU, I've got the backbone there for targeting the likes of blonde rays and stuff like that, which I want. I want to know that if I get a fish on, not necessarily rays or whatever I get on, eels, whatever, that I've got a rod that has got the backbone in to bully the fish and take control of that fish at any stage of the fight. With the Dymics, especially with blondes over rougher ground and stuff, you've got it will handle it, but it's a totally different ball game. And when I first got the 8 SUs, up until 2 years ago now, I was never getting the full capability out of the rods with distance. I was losing distance compared to the HSTs, but for the simple fact of that bullying power, I stuck with it. And then obviously Adam took me under his wing a little bit within the casting and showed me what to do and how he performs the style of pendulum he does. And then that saw the rod in a different light then, because obviously once you're getting into that midsection of the rod and the butt section of the rod and you're bending it, that rod is phenomenal because it will put a bait a very, very long way, fishing at maximum distance and at the same time having everything you want within a rod. 7-ounce leads, 8-ounce leads, if I need to chuck them, it will fly them. And that's my favourite rod ever. If I had to take one rod and use one rod and get rid of everything else in my fishing cupboard, that would be the rod. So that's that one. Right, so I should have started with a different one really. So the guys asked me, what's my best ever session and what's my nightmare session? I'm going to answer the nightmare session first and then add it off with a good note. My nightmare session, right, so many years ago, it's a Friday night and I was rushing home from work and I wanted to go fishing, okay? And I was going to go and do a high water mark later that evening, like early evening. And I got home and at the time, my previous missus car broke down, so I had to go and pick up. Get back changed and that. Get out of the car, drive over, pick her up, I'll leave the car where it was. Obviously, phone the mechanic to come pick up the following day. Took her up, missed the tide. So I thought to myself, what am I going to do now? So I thought I'm going to go fish a low water mark. So that evening, I went out a couple hours sleep and got up at 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning and made that hour drive towards where I wanted to go fishing. Okay, so I had my headlight. I had a Princeton Tech at the time. I never forget it. And I got out of the car, closed everything up, thought I had everything, made my way down to this mark. So I got onto this mark and the tide was just dropping, and this mark I fished is like a little island, and I literally thought, I'm not going to set up now. There's no point setting up and setting up on the top. I'm going to wait till I get down to the bottom. So I sat down, waited for 5-10 minutes. The tide started to drop. Got down onto the rock. Ideal. Set my tripod up. Set my rods up. Set everything up. Got my rigs out, attached them like that. Went to go for my bait bag. I had one of the Any Fish Anywhere black bait bags, and I left it on top of the car, and I knew I had it with me, and I thought, no way, right? So I've walked probably a mile and a half to get to this bit, and it's by now it's like 3 o'clock, 3:30 in the morning by now, and I'm thinking, no way. And I thought, I'll tell you what, no one's going to be here now. It's flat calm sea and that. I'm just going to leave my gear here. So I basically, where the rock what was behind me, I put my tripod and my rods up on it, lift all my gear on it, had my headlight, and I thought, I'm getting on it. So I've got back up from where I was. I had to go up this big cliff, walk miles along back to the car. There I was with my Any Fish Anywhere bag on top of the car. Ideal. So I starts coming down, and then I thought, I'll tell you what, I'm just going to go through the woods to make it a bit quicker. So I went down through the woods, and as I'm going through my woods, as I got to the start of the woods, my headlight flickered. That means full beam's just about to go, and it's going to go on to the midsection. So I turned the beam down to the next one, started going through the woods thinking my headlight's going to go now, and within halfway through the woods, my headlight had died completely. It was pitch black, right? All I can see is the moon, and I'm stuck in the middle of the woods with no headlight. Now, guys, this is a big thing, okay? Because not necessarily where I was at the time. I could have been safe because I could have just sat down and waited until daylight and then come back out. But if I had been some of the places that I fish in that conditions, up and down cliff faces and stuff like that, and my headlight had gone, I would have been in serious trouble. So I always carry a spare headlight, okay? But fortunately, due to the situation, my spare headlight was back in my box with spare batteries and everything. So I'm thinking, no way. So I'm looking trying to look at the moon, thinking, I've got to try and get like out the tree line so I can see a little bit better. And I thought, this isn't happening. So I basically kept my hands like that, and I thought, I'm not going near that side there because that's where the water is. If I don't want to fall off the rocks into the water, I'm going to carry on going. So I carry on going, like made my way like real slowly, like out feeling through the woods. Managed to get where I knew I had to step up over, and then I was out onto open coast and I could see the moon coming down and stuff like that. But it took me ages, and I got back down to where I was fishing very, very carefully. Got into my box, got my headlight, turned it on, had light again. Started to fish. And blanked. I never had a bite, honestly. I could not believe it. Good tide and everything. It was just, that night, it was not meant to be. So that is my nightmare session, guys. Yeah, nightmare session. It was mental. Best ever session. Best ever session. Okay, so it's hard. My best ever session would have to be my blonde ray, okay? Only because it's of the fish it is and what it meant for me to catch at that size. Apart from that, I've had Witches Point in South Wales. I love it, honestly. Something about that mark. I've been there before, and I've had like 28 rays in a day session and a night session there between us, all small lights, and it was just one after another, just mental fishing. Nothing extremely huge, but just fish after fish after fish. So yeah, that's one what stands out for me. But turbot, that'll probably stay with me for the rest of my life. But to me, that's what I would class because of where it is and that on the beach, like beach fishing and stuff. I class it as a whoopsie fish. It's not. I don't mean that for everybody. Cast not fishing off a beach, but at the end of the day, to go on Chesil Beach and catch that, or like you know what I mean. Most of my fishing, I'm going places and I'm fishing that spot for a reason. I'm fishing it because it's got a hole, or it's got a sandbar, or it's got a trough, or it's got some feature which I know is holding fish. And most of the venues I've fished have always got that. No matter what species I'm going for, I've always got that. With that fish off Chesil, it could have been anything. I was fishing for rays at the time, and it's a fantastic catch, and it's always something which I'll never forget. And at the end of the day, big achievement. There's not many people who can say they've had a double-figure turbot from the shore. Nick Panther, well done, mate. Beat me as well. It's off Chesil as well, but it's one of those fish which you can't physically go out and target. You can't go out there and catch a double-figure turbot. You can't physically catch it. There's not many marks you can go to where you got a chance of catching a double-figure turbot, and Chesil is probably one of the better ones to go to. Cornish marks will throw turbot up, and I know where to go for bigger turbot, but to go out and catch a turbot that size, someone said to me, "Go and catch a turbot, I'll give you £1 million, £10 turbot." What do you do? I mean, it's not something where you could. If someone said to me, "Go and catch yourself a £20-30 blonde, and I'll give you £1 million," I know what I'd have to do. Or someone said, "I'll go and catch a £13-14 smalleye," I'd know where to go. Go and tell me that it's not a fish you can catch. But go back to the question. So, best ever race session, best ever session, £20 blonde. Been fishing months and months and months and months and months. Fishing all my life, really. For not necessarily for that fish, but it's been a fish that's been on my bucket list for a little while. And due to everything what had been going on past years and stuff like that, I was either working, had stuff on with Sea Angling Adventures, and we're doing other things and stuff like that. I never had the time to put into doing what I wanted to do. I used to try and thing, and then I didn't really have no guidance, but I had a couple of lads what I spoke to who obviously knew what they're doing with it. And just not give me no information, but just say you got to hit it. And I basically, that's what I've done. I lived it and slept it. And if I could do it all over again, I'd do it every day of the year, because to me, that's what fishing's about. That's to have to have a fish on that size, and I'm not interested in 20s, I'm not interested in 18s, I'm not interested in 16s, I'm not interested in 15s, I'm not interested in double figure fish now. If I'm fishing with blonde rays, I want £25 plus fish, because the fights within that fish compared to anything I've ever had is phenomenal. I mean, you get fish, especially rays, what I love about ray fishing is that rod set there like that, and then that rod slip slowly pulling down like that, and you're like going click, 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 and you're on it, alright? I can see why people are addicted to tope fishing. That we don't get tope down here, but so we get ray fishing. And you set your drag and you hit it, and your rod either goes up with no fish, but you get that rod on, you hit it when you know you need to hit it. Your rod will go like that, and your rod will go poof, fish on. And with that fish, compared to any other ray I always had, spotters give a good account for himself, and blondes and stuff, they give a good account for himself. But as soon as I hit that fish, all I felt was like basically hit the floor. You're not having none of this. And all I simply done is the SU there to do. You ain't gonna win. I've got an SU in my hand, and I'm £20 bulletproof, £80 shock leader, and all the gear I had to use, I had total confidence in. Yeah, so £100 leaders, the Gemini £100 swivels, the Cox and Raw uptight extras with octopus, and the Power Monster trace line. I knew that unless my main line went, there was no way I was losing that fish. I knew for a start. And as I started to bring it up, it was staying deep, and it was still taking line at that point. And I had my reel switched on, and it was just like going down and down and down and down and down. So I basically kicked in, and I'm fishing like there's rough grounds. I'm fishing over rough ground onto clean at distance. So you're fishing 100 odd yards out over rough ground. The rough ground is 100 yards out, so you've got to be hitting 150 yards with a bait to be where you want to be, really. And the fish is kiting right, and it's going with the tide. And I knew straight away that because the way the positioning, that if I did not take control of that fish, it was going to lose it. So I basically tightened up my drag and locked in, and then just basically pulled up, and I could feel the fish going down like that, and I just heaved up, right? And then as I started to bring it up, I knew I had control of it, then it was coming up, coming up, coming up. As soon as I got it mid-tide, you get rays kite, and the fish just went from there, and it was gone, all right? It was just kite straight away with the tide, and it was from here to there within seconds, right? So it's like gone. And I knew then that I knew straight away that this was a big fish. And I started reel, keeping the line up. I'll never drop my rod. I always keep my rod 45 degrees, so I'm not giving it a line, just keeping it at short turns, pump, bring it to service. And a friend of mine with me, Stuart Norris, he'll never forget a day. And he thought it was bullets because of the rough ground, and I was like, no way. And then when it come, what'd you say? Picking a ray up that size is just phenomenal, and it's something what will stay with me probably to my dying day, and it's something what I'm very, very proud about, and it's a big accomplishment for me. And my next target is a 30 pounder. I to be honest, I don't mind if as long as I'm there when it's caught, that is what I want to see. Because some of the stories like Rob and that Rob, especially Yorks, he's witnessed, and seeing fish like that being caught, like from me, to have a £20 blonde off the reef marks with wheel, and loads of them like £13 small-eyed, and big bass, and seeing fish like this, just magical moments. Not a lot of people see that sort of thing, and it's amazing to witness. Even if you're not on the rod, to be there and landing the fish, or be there and witnessing the fish being landed and stuff, that is what it's about. And especially the coastline I fish, Devon, it's very hard fishing. It's not easy fishing, and it just goes to show if you put the time in, magic does happen. And yeah, that's my best ever session. So I think that is literally it, guys. It's that's it for the questions. It's been a bit of a long show. I'm not sure how long it's gone on for, but the second camera is gone kaput straight away a little while ago. So what I'd like to do is, I know a lot of you have enjoyed the episode in the fishing show. I hope I haven't bored you too much this one. I've obviously answered the questions I have. To be honest, a couple of them, like the fish weight one and stuff like that, to be honest, is something that it's not going to interest everybody, and a lot of people is probably going to start getting all argumentative and stuff like that. At the end of the day, it is what it is. You know what I mean? It's something that's never going to change. You're going to have your opinion about it. I'm going to have my opinion about it. Someone else is going to have their opinion about it. At the end of the day, unless everybody, as I said before, put their requests in and stuff like that to their local regions and stuff, things aren't never going to change. So it's down to everybody at the end of the day. But you can have your own opinions anyway. But what I'd like to leave it with, guys, okay, is what I've decided to do with the fishing show. I'm going to try and do a few of these. It's something that I can do regularly, and to be fair, it's not something what I thought would go what people wanted to see, because I'm just sitting here talking for like an hour and a half. But obviously, it's within 24 hours, it's had over 1,000 views. So obviously, people are enjoying it. I've had loads of messages come in, questions straight away for the next one. So I'll keep doing them if you'll keep on watching them, and as long as you're enjoying them. If anybody's not enjoying them, and I get loads of requests saying, please stop them, Andy, I'll stop them, right? But it's something I can do, because obviously I'm not out fishing every night. If I can give hints and tips and give people something to watch once a week, then so be it. But what I'm going to do is, we have a little get-together coming up, okay, for Sea Angling Adventures, which we've done a little festival. And what we're going to be doing is having a little competition, targeting garfish later on in the month. And upon that then we are having an awards night with a barbecue and getting a few of the lads together, not fishing, just having basically a camp night, getting the guys together, a few fun games, a few drinks, and just basically be nice to get everybody together to see each other. We don't get to see each other very often. So James Cook's going to be coming down, Gethin, Matt and Kane, they'll all be coming down. You've got, I'm not sure if Josh and the rest of the guys, and Mark and the More Mokum and Chris Fisher and whoever else are coming down from up north. Joseph, Mr. Panther, I hope, is back on his feet by then. I haven't actually spoke to him yet. I've been trying to get hold of him. Very, very worried about him, because obviously I've seen the post on Facebook, and unfortunately I couldn't get hold of him, and I thought he fell down a cliff. Luckily he never fell down the cliff, but it's not luckily, because he obviously has an heart attack, bless him. But it goes to show, guys, like exactly saying, make sure you fish on your own. It's give me a big wake-up call, because I love that boy to bits. He's one of my best friends, and he's getting old. He's getting old a little bit now, and he can't do some of the stuff he used to do. And especially like me, the reason we get on, think so well, is because we're like two peas in a pod, and we're very much like each other, except from I'm 20, 30 years younger. I don't think I'm that younger, but yeah, you know what I'm saying. But it goes to show, like a lot of places I do, and I don't eat fantastically, fishing when I'm fishing all the time and stuff like that, Red Bull and stuff like that, and it is bad for you, and especially I'm not getting any younger now either as well. And it goes to show, if you're on your own and something like that happened, luckily, touch wood, he had Mike with him, which obviously looked after him, and thank God he's safe and sound. So anyway, what we're going to do is we're doing a like and share. So all you need to do is add your angling friends to the group, Sea Angling Adventures group, like the page of Sea Angling Adventures, and share the YouTube channel, right? And what I'm going to do is I'll be able to take a listing off it, and I'll go through and I'll pick a lucky winner, okay? The lucky winner can come down and spend the day. I might even do 2 lucky winners, okay? Come down, they're welcome to come down and do some garfish fishing and get involved in the competition on the Saturday daytime. It'll probably be a £5 each in. Winner takes a kit. Even want to do stuff like that between friends, a little bit of a laugh, and whoever wins gets their drinks paid for in the evening and the barbecue. But yeah, get together, meet all these Sea Angling Adventures guys, do a bit of garfish fishing in the daytime. Bring your camp bed down, have a bit of a barbecue and a bubble with the SAA lads, and It'll be a night you won't forget, I can assure you, because they're a bunch of crazy, crazy young men. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the session, and I look forward to seeing you all once again for episode 3. Take care, guys.